So, Italian electrics, fun.
Welcome to Casa Stefano. This is my story of buying a house in Italy, sight unseen, during the pandemic, and the adventure of renovating the house and exploring the Salento in southern Puglia.
Welcome to Casa Stefano. So, today we need to do some sorting of the electrics because I need to do some wiring in the small bathroom before I do the tiling and the floor. Basically, this is where they had the switch before for the lights in here, and this is all going to be pretty much a wet room, so I need to move this from here over to here. They've also relocated the hot water heater up into that area, and they did some kind of temporary wiring up there, I'm not sure, so I need to check that out. But basically what I need here on the wall right outside is the light switch for in there, probably a vent fan will go in there, and also a switch for the boiler. Right now I think it's hardwired, which means it's just on heating water when I don't need it. So I'll turn that off or put a switch. So that's the status there. So now, how do we get started with this? Well, take a look. Top of the stairs and right around this hip wall is where they've installed the circuit panel, and as you can see, there is one circuit. So I need to see how all of the wiring in the house comes into this one circuit. Okay, so the first thing I want to do is just take this panel off and get a look at what the wiring looks like inside. No doubt you can probably hear the yipping dog next door. That sounds like a different one. I've got one barker, one that's fairly quiet, but he makes a lot of noise, pushing his plastic bowl all over the roof. I guess that's his hunger protest. So let's see what we got here. So let's show you what's going on here. So the good news is it looks like there's a ground feed. Everything coming in from the top here is coming from the meter, because I can trace the top black and blue going into the breaker, and it goes up it comes out and goes in. So this is also coming out of the same line. And it looks like there's a couple of small feeds here that also probably go back down, or go back down the minor malfunction there. Go also back down the stairs, probably to feed the lights So they come up here and then they go back down, the stairwell lights. So it goes through the breaker, and then we see blue and black here. It goes into another conduit there. So the next stage is to track that. It probably goes up. There's a box right up there. So I'll have to open that up and see what's going on in there. So sorry about this light. It looks like, let me see if I can hold the camera and the light. The gimbal keeps acting up here. So power comes in. I've got basically one power line out from the switch, but I've got 3 neutrals. So it looks like they're using the neutral feed and connecting only that to the circuit breaker, which more or less works. If the draw is too high, and it doesn't matter which side really, it's going to pop the breaker. Normally you do both. So a couple of weird things is that they've then, perhaps it's just because they were lazy, or there's not enough room in the box, I don't know. But they've taken, basically this is a power feed that comes, it comes from somewhere, and it's bypassing the circuit, and then it's going back. So it's coming in and it's going right back out without a circuit. Then this is the neutral, and they've got, this one goes that way, this one goes that way, and then the white one is also coming in. So one of these, I guess, is the lights in the stairwell, and this is something else. These are very small wires. This is the kind of stuff you'd use for the lights. Definitely like the 10 amp variety. And the good news is that depending on how these trace, they can certainly be put on their own circuit. So I've sort of figured a couple of things out. Here, I opened up the junction boxes, so let's take a look at what's going on. So here's the panel, which is really just the one switch. So here's the first panel, and it looks like they've got a couple of relays that probably are for the lights, and it looks like they've kept the lights more or less on one circuit, which is fairly consistent for Italian electrics. Now, so this one feeds towards the bedroom and bathroom, and it goes this way. So the next box is up here. Looks like we've got a wire that goes up to the window, and then it feeds all the way across here, and we go up here and we find this is like one of the major junction boxes. So I've got the feed coming in, I've got the feed going out up to the terrace. I can tell because this one right here is a coax cable that comes down from the terrace. So it looks like there's just light power going up, which makes sense. I would want something more heavy duty, a dedicated circuit, it being outside, and you want to be able to plug things in upstairs on the terrace. So then it goes down to the floor. Well, it's right around the corner here. So it feeds that outlet, and then it goes across and to this side. I've got another box there. So I'm pretty sure it feeds all of this area. So back here, what does that mean? Well, it kind of means, I guess, we can use some of this existing wiring. We can pull some new wiring. I can certainly figure out a way to get a dedicated circuit from in here where the air conditioner is, and then this will be the kitchen. So I need to run a dedicated line for the kitchen. And I can probably have a sub panel over here for all of the appliances. That's code. It should, it's a good idea just to have circuit breakers for each major appliance. So hopefully we can run a new circuit. So one for the aircon and one for the kitchen from here. And go back over here. And hopefully fish it through the wall all the way around, and just work with this as the main circuit box. Just expand it, probably shift it over a little bit so that I can have multiple circuits in there for different things. Now, I haven't gotten to yet is this also should feed over here. So there's another junction box up there. I'll open that up. Oh, we've got one up here that they have been messing around with, probably to do the wiring for the water heater. So I'll crawl up into the attic in a second, and we can figure out what's going on in here. Okay, now for the action sequence. Stefano climbing a ladder. In this case, I'm going to go up there and look in the box. Just FYI, that box is 2.4 meters from the floor. And that is exactly halfway to the apex of this roof. 4.8. This ladder can extend to 4.7, so I can probably get to near the top. That'll be pretty high. Okay, so what do we got here? About what I expected. We have the line that comes from back this way. And we also have, and I can tell because that's the coax line for the TV. There's an outlet in the bedroom for an antenna feed. I've got that, which comes from the other side from the junction box. So this is the feed to the bedroom. So the question's going to be, this is not much of an electric feed going that way. So we'll have to see what we find in the bedroom. So the last bit of the puzzle, I'm stepping into the bathroom. Let me turn the camera around. So this was the old light switch and on-off switch for the water heater. And it looks like they've just wired it through. It looks like there's also the coax cable for the outlet on the other side of this wall passing through. And they've pulled the wires out, the old wires. There's one that I believe that went up to the water heater. There's one there that went to a light. So what I'm going to do is just about opposite on this outside of the wall is where I'm going to put the new outlet. And that'll have a switch for a fan, a light and fan, an outlet right here. So I'm not going to put an outlet in the bathroom. So it's kind of odd to have a light switch height outlet, but that's you know, if you're going to be using this and you need a hair dryer or razor, electric razor, and then the switch for the water heater, the scaldo bagno. So let's get up here and see what's going on. I think that junction box feeds down here to this outlet. Okay, so here we are. We've got the feed coming from the other room, and it looks like it does go directly down. Now there is a feed down this way, and I don't know where that goes, so we got to figure that out. Okay, I think this is one of the last junction boxes. I'm up in the walk-up closet, and then I have to go up into this thing. So this is just between the one that's in the other room and the one we just looked at. So we've got this storage area. It's kind of like, what's the opposite of a dungeon? That's what this is. Position the ladder for better. Okay, so they in fact did not connect the water heater. So interesting. Okay, so how is this? Random pipe. So well, it's all plugged in. It doesn't look like it's turned on. The valves are shut off down there. So I'm going to have to find a way to run some electrics up to this thing. So in all likelihood, one of these other outlets, I guess they looked at this other outlet here because the junction, not the outlet, junction box. The junction box up here was left open, so they must have looked at it, scratched their head, and then just gone home. All right, so what do I know for sure? Well, I know we've got 2 zones. This one that goes over to the bedroom side of things, and then the other one is sort of everything else. So I'm going to get a consult with a real electrician, not a Casa Stefano electrician, and figure out a plan for how to attack this without totally ripping up the house, but getting some safe and very functional electrics. So that's it for now. More on electrics later. Thanks for joining. Welcome to Casa Stefano. No, I need to have this on. Make sure that's going. The hell was that? We're running. Okay.